All right, let's quickly take a few thoughts on this other story before we go into our main conversation for the day. Asuu strikes. We failed to fulfill agreement. Federal government admits the most. The most unpopular minister in Nigeria, the Minister of Education, Adamu. It came out yesterday, to admit that the federal government failed. We have information in the public domain that, based on UNESCO law or UNESCO's approval, is that 28% of a government or of a nation's budget must go into education. All right, we know that before now, the federal government of Nigeria has never honored the UNESCO approval.
Which were signatories to.
Exactly. Now, the Jonathan-led administration agreed that they were going to do 8%. Now, they did all that they could before they left power. Now, the Buhari-led administration came in, and after sitting down and after resolving or agreeing on some certain things in 2013, when they agreed that 8% would be paid and all of that, they never really fully paid. And up till now, the Buhari-led administration has not even continued from where the past administration, stopped. It's unfortunate that this is what we have, playing out on education in Nigeria. There is no premium on lives. There's no premium on education. There's no premium on security. Nobody seems, this is another area of the Nigerian polity, of this polity that we are just allowing to erode. And it's beginning to take toll on so many children that are in school. Somebody called yesterday and was telling me, I have just 3 weeks to graduate from school. Yeah. And this is happening. It's unfortunate. Do you know how many parents, how many people that this is affecting? Psychologically, it's affecting the student, and psychologically, financially, and all-wise, it's affecting the parents who are thinking, finally, my son, my daughter is going to leave school. Now, you are coming out to say, okay, the federal government has failed to meet its part of agreement reached with the Academic Staff Union of the university last year, which led to the ongoing industrial action. Now, it's third day of the Asuu strike. The condition, today is the fourth day now. Now, the conditions are really very clear. You have monies to pay to us, you have not paid. Now, my question is this. In other climes, in other climates, monies from government is like subvention. It's for research. This money that Asuu is asking for, or federal government is paying to universities in Nigeria, what is it for?
Yes, it is just part of the Nigerian or African mentality that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Yeah. And they always want to pay the piper so that they can always dictate the tune. But if you look at successive governments in Nigeria made up of the ruling elite, I have come to the conclusion that there is a deliberate policy on the part of the ruling elites to either make Nigerians uneducated or ill-educated. Some philosophers are saying that if you train a person, he becomes very difficult to be manipulated. And the Nigerian ruling elites, they thrive on manipulating people. For example, what do you call it, resign or resume? Are you telling me some people are not beating the drums under? Those who have gone to confront them, we know of some guys who left Lagos to go to Abuja to go and protest that Buhari must continue. Are you telling me that they use their money for the flight? That is the manipulation that the ruling elite don't want perpetually. And that is why they don't want our people to be educated.
And they know if you have a sound mind, you will not want to be...
Or you will rise up to them.
It is very, very unfortunate. I remember when we were in the university then, our fathers, our uncles and brothers were saying, you guys, what are you doing in education in school now? You are suffering. And you can't blame them. Because when they were in the university, when they wake up in the morning, what they only need to do is to go to the bathroom. Yeah. By the time they come back, somebody had laid the bed for them. Before you know it, food is in the cafeteria. They go there, 2 people will share a whole chicken. Yes. So then they thought we were suffering. But about 2 years ago, I went to my university, the University of Lagos. I did my master's there, and I shook my head. You see, unfortunately, we are so much fixated on this university education. Go to primary schools that you attended. Even if the school is still there, Go to the secondary school you attended. If the school is in good shape, it is not because of the government, it's because of the alumni association or students.
If it's still looking
good. Yeah. One guy was telling us on a radio program, I think 2 or 3 days ago, Charles Idaho, he said about some few months ago, he took his family to the village. Then as they were driving in front of his school, he said he was so ashamed, he couldn't show the school to his children, that this school I attended, because the school is nothing, you can't call it a school again. That is the problem of Nigeria. And I want to reiterate, the ruling elite deliberately want us to be either ill-educated or uneducated. Now back to the issue of Asuu. The minister said we have failed. Is it the first time they are going to fail? Tell me, is there any area that governments have not failed? You see, but my grouse with Asuu is that the English people said you cannot be doing the same thing and you are expecting a different result. Do you know that, Dr. Ishama, the strike that they are doing today is based on an agreement they reached in 2009. In 2013, the university lecturers went on strike for 8 months.
Yes.
They went back without the agreement being implemented. Whether you like it or not, they can strike till now, till the kingdom come. They will go back to school without this agreement being reached. Because the government knows that the only thing that Asuu knows is to down tool. And that is, when the time will come now when some of you are telling of a guy who said he has 3 weeks to write exam. The time will come when parents will begin to tell us, what is the problem? Yeah. Go back to school and graduate our children. Have you asked yourself, Dr. Ishama, why do some parents prefer their children to go to University of Ilorin? University of Ilorin don't join Asuu on strikes. They are on session now. They are in session now.
There are some universities, state universities.
University of Ilorin will never join.
Delta State University.
Now as we speak, Unife, they are in session. Because the boy they interviewed said they are writing exam. So why would they mortgage their exam and join one strike? Asuu, to me, has been very lazy. It's very, I laugh when I see Asuu protesting or when they're
but Mr. Depo.
No, I'm not faulting them. But to me,
okay,
you know that the people you are dealing with, they are deaf and dumb, figuratively.
But what they are pushing for is essentially for the good of Nigerians.
They are
not just gentlemen, they are not just pushing for monies to be paid. If you look in totality of their demand, if you look in sincerity of their demands, 80% of educational facilities are underdeveloped in schools. You have abandoned
projects. What are they using schools for?
That's another side of the debate. You have projects, abandoned projects, spanning over 5, 6, 7 years. Look at schools in the Niger Delta region, for example. The NDDC, most have abandoned this project for a very long time. Nobody's saying anything about it. As a student, you do not even have proper internet facilities in your lecture hall. Lecturers are lecturing and they do not have sound communication system. So you have lecture rooms which are not even enough to accommodate students. Students are not animals. Even the lecturers on their own part are not animals.
So why are schools admitting more than they can accommodate? More than they can school? You know that your facility can only accommodate 100 students in a lecture theater.
That is the reason
you are admitting 1,000. Where do you want the rest of them to sit down?
The school have a responsibility. The government they have a responsibility. Just because the government is not keying in on its responsibility to provide infrastructure does not mean the school itself should disenfranchise Nigerians.
We have killed the education. We should. I do not believe in quota system. It's one of the major problems has populated our universities, and therefore the university system cannot or doesn't seem to be able to deal with the situation.
You know what we are saying. Nobody is disputing the fact that those guys could have some genuine reasons to agitate. But my question is, you know the people you are dealing with, that they are deaf and dumb, figuratively. We told you, the agreement they are fighting for now was signed in 2009.
In 2009.
You know how long it took them?
Shouldn't government be in continuity?
That is right.
Just because we signed an agreement in 2009, does that mean it should be repealed now?
No, but the Jonathan-led administration was there all the way from 2009.
But this government agreed to continue.
You didn't get the gist. The gist is Asuu should have known the people they are dealing with You can go to end the strike from now to 2017 or 2020.
How
because
else?
their children don't go to these schools. That is why I believe by that
That's
in
another
Yoruba
part
land.
of the
In Yoruba land, you know why Yoruba you call university? EBT, that is where the oracle had deposited all knowledge. I expect Asuu by now to have come up with another means of fighting their cause, not strike action. This is a strike action that action. It's just like NUPENG saying that they are going on strike. They won't sell fuel. Will it affect government? When governors have dumps, president have dumps, ministers have dumps, it's only you and I that will suffer it.
All right, hold on that thought. We'll go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. We'll just stay with us. All right, thanks for staying with us. It's still Crossfire with Dakbo and Ishoma. We have the general himself, Mr. Dikbo Alayoku, in the studio, and we've been discussing. Now let's quickly wrap up on Asuu. From your thoughts, it's obvious that this is not the correct route. Strike is not an option.
Because these people will not feel it.
Yeah.
Their children are not in Nigeria. If their children are in Nigeria, their children are in private schools.
Private schools.
So how are they going to feel it? If you are, as a minister, assuming you come back in the night, your child that's supposed to be in school, you meet him at home, you'll be wondering, what are you doing? Yeah. But their children are not here. So Asuu
unfortunately, some members of Asuu also
their own children are not even here. So that is the unfortunate aspect of it. I think by now, Asuu, Dapo, Ishama, go and look at since 1999. It's like every year we will be having strike by Asuu. In 2013, I repeat, 2013, Asuu members went on strike for 8 months. As we speak, the students of Lautech, they have been at home for more than 12 months.
Yes, for about 18 months.
And the government is not bothered, and Asuu still thinks that strike action is the best way to fight this government. Not, you can talk of other government where they listen, where they talk, but not a government that is deaf.
Would you say
and
Asuu
dumb.
is corrupt?
No, that one is even out of it.
because that's another dimension. Because as it is
that's
right
one
now,
you are opening not even a kind of worm. You are opening a container of worm. Because what we know them. You cannot pass exam except you buy handout from the Asuu. You cannot pass exam except you invite the girl to the hospital, to the hotel. You know, there's this jingle that the Federal Ministry of Information is now playing on stations.
That they're playing on radio
the
stations.
lecturer is saying, come and meet me in the hotel. Asuu itself needs to do some self-cleansing. That one is very necessary. But that one is a kettle, it's another issue for another day. But I'm thinking that by now, Asuu should have known that these people they are dealing with, they don't listen, they don't hear anything. They should find a means of getting at them, not at getting at
but
the children.
it is believed that the Buhari-led administration listens.
Are they? Government in Nigeria is always the same thing now. They are in the ruling elite. That's the way they say. Because you see, the unfortunate thing is that by the time people get into government, they become alienated. From the people. Yeah. That's why when the president is coming, if there's any bad portion of the road, they quickly do some palliative so that the man will drive smoothly. After the man has come and gone, with the first and second rain, the road is bad again. So if you are complaining that there's no rain, they will just be wondering that is this guy insane? The road I passed about 2 months ago. Let me give you an example. There was a deputy governor. The woman is now a senator. When she was living where I am living, when she became a deputy governor and she came back to Lagos, she relocated to the GRA in Magodo. When she was living where I was living, although as a deputy senator, I said deputy governor, we were having light regularly in my area. But the moment she relocated, we went back to ground zero, using the American example. So how can you now tell this woman that NEPA is not operating? You will be saying, we know them now. They are what they call eternal critic. That's what they use, that they will never say anything good in government. That is the problem. Okay. That is the problem. We don't allow government to see our sufferings because when they are coming, we make look as if everything is
okay and all of that.
So when you are telling them it's not okay.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.